your niece. And right soon, too.
Never.
Your niece is of age, Mr. Vandergelder. Your niece has consented to marry me. This is a free country, Mr. Vandergelder, not a private kingdom of your own.
There are no free countries for fools, Mr. Kemper. Now I thank you for the honor of your visit. Good morning.
Mr. Vandergelder, would you please sit still for just 1 minute? My cut your throat will practically be unintentional.
Evan-Gad is not for you, nor for anyone else who can't support her.
I tell you I can support her. I make a very good living.
No, sir. A living is made, Mr. Kemper, by selling something that everybody needs at least once a year. Yes, sir. And a million is made by producing something that everybody needs every day. You artists produce something that nobody needs at any time. You may sell a picture once in a while, but you'll make no living. Joe, go to that knock 2 times. I need to talk to Cornelius.
Not only can I support her now, but I have considerable expectations.
Expectations? We merchants don't do business with them. I don't make accounts with people who promise somehow to pay something someday. And I don't allow my niece to marry such people.
Fine. From now on, you might as well know that I regard any way we can get married is right and fair. Ermengarde is of age, Mr. Vandergelder, and there is no law that...
Go on, Mr. Kemper. Let me tell you something. Most of the people in this world are fools. The law is there to prevent crime. We men with sense are there to prevent foolishness. It is I and not the law that will prevent Ermengarde from marrying you. And I've taken some steps already. I sent her away to get this nonsense out of her head.
Ermengarde's not here?
She's gone. East, west, north, south. Thank you for the honor of your visit.
Everything's ready, Mr. Vandergelder. Ermengarde and I have just finished packing her trunk.
Hold your tongue.
Yes, Mr. Vandergelder. Everything is clearly marked. Camp Miss Van Huysen, 8 Jackson Street, New York.
For goodness sakes, didn't I tell you it was a secret?
Can Miss Van Huysen, 8 Jackson Street, New York? Thank you very much. Good morning, Mr. Vandergelder.
It won't help you, Mr. Kemper. Deaf and blind. At least you can do me the favor of being dumb.
Such a temper. Lord save us.
Yes, Mr. Vandergelder. Go get my niece's trunk and carry it over to the station. Yes, Mr. Vandergelder. Wait. Gertrude! Has Miss Levi arrived yet?
You don't have to shout. I can hear perfectly well. Everything is clearly marked.
Have the buggy run around the patrol. Spurt the store in half an hour. Yes, Mr. This morning I'm joining my lodge parade. This afternoon I'm going to New York. However, I have some important news for you and Barnaby before I go. Good news. Fact is, I'm going to promote you. How old are you?
33, Mr. Vandergelder.
What?
33.
That all? That's a foolish age to be at. I thought you were 40.
33.
A man's not with the Senate until he's 40. We just pay him wages to make mistakes. Ain't that right, Joe?
You almost lost me on that one, Mr. Vandergelder.
Yes, I was thinking of promoting you to chief clerk.
And what am I now, Mr. Vandergelder?
You're an independent fool, that's what you are. Now, if you behave yourself, I'll promote you from independent fool to chief clerk with a raise in your wages. Barnaby Tucker may be promoted from idiot apprentice to incompetent clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Vandergelder.
However, I want to talk to you again before I go. Now, go get my niece's trunk.
Yes.
Joe, the world's getting crazier every minute. It's like my father used to say, the horses will be taking over the world soon.
I did what I could, Mr. Vandergelder. Won't keep flying in and out of that chair.
Fine, Joe. You do a fine job. It's the same fine job you've done for me for 20 years. Well, how do I say this? Joe, I got special reasons for looking my best today, and isn't there something a little extra you could do? Something a little special? I'll pay you right up to 50 cents. See what I mean? Do some of those things you do to the young fellas. You know, touch me up a bit. Smarten me up a bit.
All I know is give me tips like usual, Mr. Vandergelder. That's everything that's decent to do to a man.
Now hold your horses. All they meant was
I've saved you for 20 years, and you've never asked me no such questions before.
now hold your horses, I say, Joe. Now, I'm gonna tell you a secret, but I don't want you talking about it with that riffraff down at the barber shop. All I ask of is a little extra because I'm thinking of getting married again soon. And this very afternoon, I'm going to New York to call on my intended, a very refined lady.
Don't get nervous. None of my affair, Mr. Vandergelder. All I know is 15 cents, and I don't die no half either. Not even for 50 cents I don't.
Joe Scanlon, get out of here.
And lastly, Mr. Vandergelder, it seems pretty rash for you to be judging which is fools and which isn't fools. A person who eats onions is a bad judge of others who eat onions. Good day, ladies. Good day, Mr. Vandergelder.
Well, what do you want?
Uncle, you said you wanted to talk to us.
Ah, yes. Gertrude, go and get my parade regalia. The uniform for my large parade.
What? Oh, yes. Lord have mercy.
I had a talk with that artist of yours. He's a fool. Oh, weeping, weeping. You can go and weep for a while in New York, where it won't be noticed. Emgad. Yes, I told him that when you were old enough to marry, you would marry someone who could support you. Now, I've done you a good time. You'll come back and thank me when you're 50.
But Uncle, I love him.
And I tell you, you don't.
But I do.
And I tell you, you don't. You leave those things to me.
Oh, if I don't marry Ambrose, I know I'll just die.
What of?
Broken heart.
Never heard of it. Now, just Levi's going to find a woman to take you to New York. You're going to stay 2 or 3 weeks with Miss Flora Van Horn. An old friend of your mother's. Now, you're not to receive any letters except from me. I'm coming to New York today, and I'll call on you tomorrow. Who are you?
Malachi Stack, Your Honor. Purchasing an apprentice for the hay fever division in the hardware business.
An apprentice at your age?
Yes, sir. I bring a lot of experience to it.
Have you any letters of recommendation?
Yes, indeed, Your Honor. First-class recommendations.
Emgad, are you ready to start?
Yes.
Well, don't get ready, sir. Emgad, let me know the minute Miss Levi gets here.
Yes, Uncle Horace.
Well, I don't need an able seaman, nor a typesetter, and I don't need a hospital cook.
No, Your Honor. But they're all recommendations. Excuse me. This one's from your previous partner, Mr. Van Tile and Albany.
You hold this. Let's see here. For the most part, honest and reliable, occasionally willing and diligent. There seems to be a certain amount of hesitation with this recommendation.
Businessmen aren't writers, Your Honor. There's only one businessman in 1,000 that can write a good letter of recommendation. Mr. Van Tile sends his best wishes and wants to know if you could use me in the hardware business.
Not so fast, not so fast. Now, what's this Your Honor business that you use so much?
Well, Mr. Van Tile says you're president of the Hudson River, dealers recreational, burial, and choral society.
I am, but there's no Your Honor that goes with it. Why'd you come to Yonkers?
I heard you had an apprentice that was a good for nothing. That you had your wits end for another.
Wits end. Wits end. There's no dearth for good-for-nothing apprentices.
You're right. It's employers there's a dearth of. Seems like you hear of one dying every day.
What? Hold your tongue. I see you've been a barber and a valet, too. Why have you changed your place so often?
Change my place when a man's interested in experience.
Do you drink?
No thanks. I just had breakfast.
you whether. I was asking you if you were drunken.
No, sir, no. Why, looking at it from all sides, I don't even like liquor.
Well, if you keep on looking at it from all sides, you're gone. Remember that. Well, with all your faults, I'm going to give you a try.
You'll never regret it, Mr. Van Gelder. You'll never regret it.
Now, I want to use you today in New York. I trust you know your way around New York.
Do I know New York? I know every hole and corner in New York.
Well, here's a dollar. A train leaves it. Yeah, where's my bag? I think it's in the shop. Take that bag to the Central Hotel on Water Street. Have them save you a room. Wait there, and I'll be there about, say, 4 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Oh, but first, I'd like to meet the other clerks I'll be working with.
You haven't the time now. Hurry along. The station's across the street.
Yes, sir. You'll never regret it, Mr. Van Gelder. You'll never regret
I
it.
regret it already. 99% of the people in the world are fools, and the rest of us are in great danger of contagion. But I wasn't always free of foolishness as I am now. Yes, I was once young, which was foolish. I fell in love, which was foolish. And I got married, which was foolish. Then my dear wife died, which was foolish of her. Then I got a little older, which was sensible of me. Then I became a rich man, which is as sensible as it is rare. Since you see that I am a man of sense, I guess you were a little surprised to hear that I'm thinking of getting married again. Well, I have 2 reasons for it. The first reason, I like my house run with order, comfort, and economy. Well, that's a woman's work. But even a woman can't do it well if she's merely being paid for it. Yes, in order to run a house well, a woman must have a feeling that she owns it. Marriage is simply a bribe to make a housekeeper think she's a householder. Have you ever seen an ant carry a load twice its size? What excitement! What patience! What will! Well, that's what I think of when I see a woman running the house. What giant passions in those little bodies! What quarrels with the butcher for the best cut! What fury at discovering the mark in the cupboard! Yes, sir. If women could harness their natures to something bigger than a house and a baby carriage, man, oh man, they'd change the world. And the second reason, ladies and gentlemen, I can see by your faces, you guessed that already. Yes, I've just turned 60, and I've just laid side by side the last dollar of my first half million. So if I should lose my head a little, I still have enough money to buy it all back. Yes, after many years of hard work and caution, I've earned the right to a little risk and adventure. And I'm thinking of getting married again. Yes, like all you other fools out there, I'm willing to risk a certain amount of security for a little adventure. Now think that over.
Ambrose Kemper, if my uncle saw you...
Get your hat.
My hat?
Quick, the truck's at the station. Now quick, we're running away.
Running away? Where?
To New York to get married.
Oh, Ambrose, I can't do that. Ambrose, dear, it just wouldn't be proper.
Listen, I'm going to take you to my friend's house. His wife will take care of you.
Ambrose, a girl can't go on a train with a man. Oh, I can see you don't know anything about girls.
But I'm telling you, we're going to get married.
Married? But what would Uncle say?
We don't care what Uncle say. We are eloping.
Ambrose Kemper, how can you use such an awful word?
Oh my God, you have the soul of a field mouse.
Ambrose, why do you say such cruel things to me?
For the last time, I beg you, get your hat and coat. The train leaves in a few minutes. Oh my God, tomorrow we'll get married.
Oh, Ambrose, I can see you don't know anything about weddings. Ambrose, don't you respect me?
Hello, darling girl. How are you?
Oh, good morning, Mrs. Levi.
And who's this gentleman so devoted to you?
Oh, Mrs. Levi, this is Mr. Kemper. Ambrose, this is Mrs. Levi. She's an old friend.
Mrs. Levi, One Gallagher. Very happy to meet you, Mr. Kemper.
Good morning, Mrs. Levi.
Oh, Mr. Kemper, the artist. Delighted. Mr. Kemper, may I say something very frankly?
Yes, Mrs. Levi.
This thing that you are planning to do is a very great mistake.
Oh, Mrs. Levi, please explain to Ambrose that of course I want to marry him, but to elope, how?
Now, darling Ray, you go ahead and keep one eye on your uncle. I wish to talk to Mr. Kemper for a moment. You give us word when you're on the horse.
Yes, Mrs. Levi.
Mr. Kemper, I was this dear girl's mother's oldest friend. Believe me, I'm on your side, and I wish the two of you to be married. I think I could be of real service to you. And Mr. Kemper, I always get right to the point.
What is the point, Mrs. Levi?
Mr. Van Gelder is a very rich man, and Ermengarde is his only relative.
I'm not interested in Mr. Van Gelder's money. I have enough to support a wife and family.
Enough? How much is enough when one is thinking about children, about the future? The future is the most expensive luxury, Mr. Kemper.
What is the point, Mrs. Levi?
Mr. Van Gelder wishes to get rid of Ermengarde, believe me. And if you follow my suggestions, he'll even permit her to marry you. You see, Mr. Van Gelder is getting married himself.
What? Oh, that monster.
Mr. Kemper.
Married. To you, Mrs. Levi?
No! No! I'm merely arranging it. I'm helping him find a suitable bride.
Mr. Van Gelder, there are no suitable brides.
I think that we can safely say that he'll be married to someone by the end of next week.
What are you suggesting?
I'm going to take Ermengarde with me to New York this afternoon. I shall not take her to Miss Van Huysen's house as planned. I'll take her to my house. I wish for you to call on her at my house at 5:30. Here's my card.
Mrs. Dolly Gallagher Levi, varicose veins reduced.
I beg your pardon?
I beg your pardon. Consultation's free.
Oh, give me my card. Here.
Mrs. Dolly Gallagher Levi, Aurora Hosiery, instruction in the guitar and mandolin. Wow, you do all these things, Mrs. Levi?
Two to make four, Mr. Kemper. Always did. So you will call on Ermengarde at my house at about 5:30, and then at about 6 o'clock, I'll take you both to meet at Harmonia's restaurant. Mr. Van Gelder will be there, and everything will be arranged.
How?
I don't know. One thing will lead to another.
How do I know I can trust you, Mrs. Levi? I mean, you could very easily make our situation worse.
Mr. Kemper, your situation couldn't possibly be worse.
I wish I knew what you get out of this, Mrs. Levi.
That's a very proper question. I get two things: profit and pleasure.
How?
Mr. Kemper, I'm a woman who arranges things. At present, I'm arranging Mr. Van Gelder's domestic affairs. Out of it, I get, shall we call it, little pickings? Yes, I need little pickings, Mr. Kemper, especially just now when I haven't got my transfer back to New York. You see, I am frank with you.
Well, that's your profit, Mrs. Levi. But where do you get your pleasure?
My pleasure? Mr. Kemper, when you artists paint a river or a hillside, you change every little thing, don't you? Yes, you make 1,000 little changes. Nature is never completely satisfactory, and it must be altered. Well, I'm like you artists. Life as it is boring to me. So I change things. I put my hand in here, and I put my hand in there. I watch and I listen, and often I'm very much amused.
Not in my affairs, Mrs. Levi.
Wait, there's another thing I'm very interested in here. Mr. Van Gelder and all that idle frozen money of his. I don't like the idea of it laying in great piles. Useless, motionless, in the bank, Mr. Kemper. Money should be like rainwater. It should be circulating and flowing down among things. Setting up a little business here and furnishing a good time there. Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, I do.
New York should be a very happy city, Mr. Kemper, but it isn't. My late husband, he comes from Vienna. But there's a city that understands this. I want New York to be more like Vienna and less like a collection of tired and nervous ants. And if you and Ermengarde get a good deal of that money, I want you two to see that it starts flowing in fun people's lives. And for that reason, I want you both to come with me to Harmonia Gardens restaurant tonight.
Mrs. Levi, Uncle Horace is coming.
Mr. Kemper, let me go. Don't worry, darling girl. I have a long talk with Mr. Cooper. Everything will be okay. You'll see. Mr. Van Gelder and I will be dancing at your wedding very soon.
there's no reason why you should look older.
You never said a truer word.
Yes, I'll never see 55 again.
55? Well, I can see at one glance that you're the sort that'll be stamping around at 185 meals a day, like my Uncle Harry. At 55, Uncle Harry was a mere boy. I'm a judge of hands, Mr. Vanderbilt. Let me see your hand. Lord in heaven! What a lifeline!
Where?
From here to here. It runs right off of your hand. I don't know where it goes. I'll have to hit you on the head with a mallet. We'll have to stifle you with the fiddle if you bury us all. However, to return to our business, I suppose that you've changed your mind altogether. I suppose you've given up any idea of getting married at all.
No, not at all, Miss Levi. In fact, I have news for you.
News?
I've practically decided to ask Miss Malloy to become my wife.
You have?
Yes, I have.
Oh, you have? Well, then I guess there's nothing more for you to do but to wish you every happiness under the sun and then bid you goodbye.
Well, Miss Levi, surely
Well, I did have another suggestion to make, but I won't. You're going to marry Mrs. Malloy, and then that settles it.
what suggestion was that?
Well, I had found another girl for you.
Another?
A wonderful girl, your ideal wife.
Another, eh? What's her name?
Her name?
Yes?
Her name is, Ernestina. Ernestina Simple. Oh, but now that's too late. You're going to marry Irene Malloy, and that's it. I mean, you're practically engaged to marry Irene Malloy.
Oh, I ain't engaged with Miss Malloy yet.
Nonsense. You can't change to another girl now and break poor Irene's heart. When a man of your time of life calls on an attractive widow like that 4 times and sends her a pot of draymans, that's practically an engagement.
That ain't an engagement.
And yet, if only you were free, I'd become his treasure of a girlfriend. All the while, I felt like I betrayed Irene Malloy, but let me tell you, I couldn't help it. I went on talking about you to this girl, and the truth is, she's fallen in love with you already.
Ernestina?
Ernestina Simple.
Ernestina Simple.
Of course, she's a very different idea from Mrs. Malloy, Ernestina is. Like her name. Simple, domestic, practical.
Can she cook?
Oh, cook! Mr. Vandergelder, I've tasted 2 meals from her hands, and as I live, I don't know what I've done that God should bless me with such meals. Her duck, her steak.
Hey, Miss Levi, this isn't the sort of house where we eat duck and steak all the time.
But didn't I tell you? That's the wonderful part. Her duck. What was it? Pigeon! I'm alive to tell you, I ate pigeon the other night. It's a recipe that's been passed down in her family for years. The best chefs would give their right hands to know it. And her steak? Shoulder of beef, 4 cents a pound. Dogs wouldn't touch it. But when Ernestina passes her hands over it,
Allowing for exaggeration, Miss Levi.
no exaggeration, Mr. Vandergelder. I'm the best cook in the world myself, and I know it's good.
How old is she?
19. We'll say 20.
20, Miss Levi. Girls of 20 are apt to favor young fellows of their own age.
But you don't listen to me, and you don't know the girl. Mr. Vandergelder, she has a positive form of bravest of blighting young men. A fine head of gray hair is with 20 shined up with pincers. No, sir. I like a man that's settled. In so many words, she said it.
That's not usual, Miss Levi.
Usual? Usual? I'm not wearing myself to the bone hunting up usual girls to interest you. Listen to me, Mr. Vandergelder. Do you know the sort of pictures that she has on her walls? Is it any of these young lockabars or rodeos? No. It's Roses talking about. If you want to make her happy, you'll give her a picture of Methuselah surrounded by his grandchildren. That's my advice to you.
Well, I hope she has some means, Miss Levi. I do have a large household to run.
Ernestina, she'll bring you in $5,000 a year.
5,000?
Listen to me, Mr. Vandergelder. You're a man of sense, I hope. And that can reckon. In the first place, she's an orphan, and she's been brought up with a great savings of food. What does she eat herself? Apples and lettuce. It's what she likes best and what she's been brought up on. She saves you $2,000 a year right there. Secondly, she makes all of her own clothing out of old tablecloths and window curtains. And she's the best dressed woman in all of Brooklyn as we speak. That saves you $1,000 right there. Thirdly, her health is of iron stout, and she
Miss Levi, that's not money in my pocket.
We're talking about marriage, aren't we? The money that she saves you in Brooklyn right now is none of your affair. You're right about that. But if you two were to be married, that would
fair?
Her father, God be good to him, he was the best, the best undertaker in all of New York. Well, respected, esteemed, to all the best people. Knew them well even before they died. But, it is. So now let me tell you a little more about her appearance. Beautiful. I've seen her walk down the street, you know what I mean? They have to lean up against the lampposts, and she eyes modesty to the floor. I'm not going to say another word about her. Couldn't you come to New York today?
I was thinking of coming to New York this afternoon.
You were? Well, I wonder if something could be arranged. She's so eager to meet you.
Miss Levi, could I give you a little dinner, maybe?
Really, I don't see where I could find the time. I'm so busy over that wretched lawsuit of mine. Yes, if I win, I don't mind telling you that I'll be called a very rich woman. I own half of Long Island. But just now, I'm at my wit's end looking for a little money. Yes, all I need is $50 to finish off that lawsuit, and Staten Island will be as good as mine. I've been trotting all over New York for you, trying to find you a suitable wife.
$50?
This is 2 whole months, and I've been...
$50, Miss Levi, is no joke. I don't know where money's going to these days. It's in hiding. Well, here's 20. Well, here's 25. I can't spare no more. Not now, I can't.
Well, this will help. Well, somewhat. So, let me tell you what we'll do. I'll take Ernestino from you to that restaurant on the Bad Harmonia Gardens. You know it. And we'll just arrange everything. Now, on the matter of Irene Lloyd, shall we call that subject closed?
No, not at all. I do want to have dinner with Miss
Simple.
Miss Simple. But first, I'd like to make another call on Miss Malloy.
Dear, dear, dear. And Miss Simple? Who raises you, Miss Very well. I'll meet you at one of those benches in front of Mrs. Moore's hat shop in Schuster.
The buggy's here ready for the parade, Mr. Van Gelder.
Go and tell Bonnie. I need to talk to both of you.
Now, Mr. Vanderbilt, do put your thoughts in order. I can't keep upsetting and disturbing the finest women in all of New York unless you need business.
Oh, I mean business, all right.
Well, I hope so, because you know you're playing a very dangerous game.
Dangerous? Dangerous, Miss Levi?
Of course it's dangerous, and there's a name for it. You're tampering with these women's affections, aren't you? And the only way to save yourself now is to be married to someone by the end of next week. So think that over.
This morning, I'm joining my lodge parade. This afternoon, I'm going to New York. When I return, there are going to be some changes here in the house. I'll tell you what the change is, but I don't want you two discussing it amongst yourselves. You're going to have a mistress.
I'm too young, Mr. Vandergelder.
Not yours. Death intonation. Not yours, idiot. Mine! Hey, you hold your tongue until you spoke. I'm thinking of getting married again.
Many congratulations, Mr. Van Gelder, and my compliments to the lady.
That's none of your business. Now, go back to the store. Do you have any questions you want to ask me before I go?
Mr. Van Gelder, does the chief clerk get one evening free off every week?
So that's the way you begin being chief clerk, is it? When I was your age, I got up every day at 5. I didn't close the store until 10 o'clock at night. And after that, I spent a good hour at the account books. The world's going to pieces. You elegant ladies lie in bed until 6, and at 9 o'clock you run to shut the door so fast that the line customers bop their noses. No, sir. You will attend the store as usual, and on Friday and Saturday nights, you'll stay open until 10. Now, this is the first time I've been away from the store, and I want to hear that everything, I mean everything, has been run perfectly in my absence. If I hear of any foolishness, I'll discharge it. Evenings free. Do you suppose that I had evenings free? If I had evenings free, would I be what I am now?
Chief clerk? To chief clerk?
Don't you like it?
Chief clerk? Oh, and if I'm good, in 10 years I'll be promoted to chief clerk again. 33 years old, and I still don't get an evening free. When am I going to begin to live?
Well, you can begin to live on Sundays.
That's not living. Twice to church and old Wolf Trap's eyes on the back of my head the whole time. Oh, and holidays. What did we do last Christmas? All those rotten tomato cans exploded. We had to clean that mess up all afternoon. Was that living?
No.
Bonnie, how much money have you got? Where you can get at it?
$3. Why, Cornelius?
You and I are gonna go to New York.
What? Cornelius, we can't do that. Close the store.
Some more rotten tomato cans are gonna explode.
What? Holy cabooses! How do you know?
I know they're rotten. All you have to do is light a match under them and they'll make such a smell you can't come into the place for 24 hours. That'll get us an evening free. We're gonna go to New York, Monica. We're gonna live. I'm gonna get me enough adventure to last me till I'm hot. So go and get your Sunday clothes on. What? I mean it. We're gonna have a good meal. We're gonna be in danger. We're gonna get almost arrested. And we're gonna spend all our money.
Holy cabooses!
And one more thing. We're not coming back to Yonkers until we've kissed a girl.
What? Cornelius, listen to yourself. Kiss a girl? You can't do that. You don't know any girls.
33 years old. Gotta start sometime.
Well, I'm only 17. It's not so urgent for me.
Come on, Bonnie, don't stop backing down on me now. Worst comes to worst and get discharged from here. You can always join the army.
Wait. Did I hear you say you're your Wolf Trap's partner?
How can I help it? He's growing old. And if you go to bed at 9, open the store at 6, you get promoted upward whether you like it or not.
Gee, partner.
There's no getting away from it. You and I, we're getting bandagellas.
What? Me? No. I may rise a little, yeah, but I'll never be a Vanderbilt.
Listen, everybody thinks when he gets rich, he's going to be a different kind of rich person than the one he sees around him. But later on, he finds out that there's only one kind of rich person, and he's it.
No, I'll never be a
No, the best of all would be a person who has all the good things a poor person has, and all the good meals a rich person has. But that's never been known. You and I, we're going to be bandagellas. All the more reason we got to get some living and adventure in us now. So will you come on me?
What about Wolf Trap and Gertrude and... Okay, Cornelius.
All right.
Mr. Hackle, are the
Yes.
trunks at the station?
Yes, Miss Levi.
Thank you. Ermengarde, take one last look at your girlhood home.
What?
Take one last look at your girlhood home. When I was a young girl and I left home, I gave a whinny and like a young colt I was off.
Oh, should I really be married this way? A young girl has to be so careful.
You know, I think I'm gonna have this room in blue wallpaper. Yeah, blue.
All clear up here, Cornelius. Hold the candle steady a minute. Yeah, that top row's all right, but try the bottom row. Oh, they're all swelled up like they're ready to bust. Holy cabooses! Oh, I can smell it up here, Cornelius. Come on.
Don't get your Sunday clothes on, Bonnie. We're going to New York.
Angela Van Gogh. It was well paid
luxurious restaurants here?
You can't be
There's your answer. I shall certainly marry Horace Van Gelder if he asks me. I know it's none of my business, but speak up, Minnie. I can't hear you. Do you? Well, do you? Minnie, you're a fool. Say it. Do I love him? Of course I don't love him. But I have two very good reasons for marrying him just the same. Minnie, put something on this hat. It's not ugly enough. Not ugly enough? I couldn't sell it. Put a sponge on it. Why, Mrs. Malloy, you're in such a mood today. In the first place, I shall marry Horace Van Gelder to get away from the millinery business. I hate it. From the first day I had anything to do with it. Minnie? I hate hats! Why, what's the matter with the millinery business? I can no longer stand being suspected of being a wicked woman. Oh, well, I have nothing to show for it. I can't stand it. Why, Mrs. Malloy, no one would dream of suspecting you. Minnie, you're a fool. All millionaires are suspected of being wicked women. Why, half the time, all those women come into the shop merely to look at me. Oh, they enjoy the suspicion, but they aren't certain. If they were certain I was a wicked woman, they wouldn't set foot in this place again. Do I go to restaurants? No. It would be bad for business. Do I go to balls and theaters and rompers? No. It would be bad for business. The only men I ever meet are feather merchants. What else do young men bring out there on that park bench? Mark my words, Minnie. Either I marry Horace Van Gelder, or I break out of this place like a fire engine. I'll go to every ball and theater and opera in New York City. But Mr. Van Gelder's not... Speak up, Minnie. I can't hear you. I don't think he's attractive. But what I think he is, and it's most important, I think he'd make a good fighter. Mrs. Malloy! And mark my words, Minnie. The best part of married life is the fights. The rest is merely so-so. I won't listen. Peter Malloy, arrest him, was a fine arguing man. I pity the woman whose husband slams the door and walks out of the house at the beginning of an argument. Peter Malloy would stand up and fight for hours on end. Why, he'd even throw things, Minnie. And there's no pleasure to equal that. When I felt tired, I started a blood-warming fight that'd take 10 years off my age. Now, Horace Van Gelder put up a good fight. I know it. I have a mind to marry him. Mrs. Malloy, there's two men on the park bench. It looks like they're meant to come in here. Well, now, it's time some men came into this shop. I give you the younger one. Aren't you terrible? Wait till I get my hands on that older one. Mark my words, Minnie, we'll get an adventure out of this yet. Adventure. Why does everybody have adventures except me, Minnie? Because I have no spirit. I have no gumption. Minnie, they're coming in here. Let's make them wait for us for a minute in the workroom. But my word! Hurry up! Quick now, Minnie.
No one's here, Cornelius.
There were some ladies here a minute ago. I saw them.
It's Wolf Trap, all right. Left to wait here until he comes back. Or he goes away, I mean.
He's sitting down on that bench. It may be quite a while.
When these ladies come back, we'll have to make conversation. We'll act like we're running a hat. How much money have you got left?
70 cents for the train, 20 cents for dinner, 40 cents to see the whale, and $1 I lost. I got 70 cents.
I have $1.75. Wish I knew how much hats cost.
Is this an adventure, Cornelius?
No, but a baby.
I think it is. Then we wander all around New York, all day long, and nothing happens. Then we come to the quietest street in the whole city, and Mr. Van Gelder turns the corner. I think that's an adventure. I think... Cornelius! Mrs. Levi! She's sitting on the bench with him.
Oh, what do you know about that? We know only one person in New York, and there she is.
Even if our adventure came along right now, I'd be too tired to enjoy it. Why isn't this an adventure, Cornelius?
Don't be asking that when you're in an
Malloy, hats for ladies.
Oh, yes. Sneak over what I'm going to say when she comes in. Good evening, Mrs. Malloy. Wonderful weather we're having. We've been looking everywhere for some beautiful hats.
That's good, Cornelius.
Good evening, Mrs. Malloy. We'll make her think we're very rich. Wonderful weather. Barnaby, keep your eye on that street the whole time. Good afternoon, Mrs. Malloy. Wonderful weather. We've been looking everywhere
Oh,
for...
I'm sorry. Have I kept you waiting? Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Here, Cornelius Hackle. Barnaby Tucker.
Very happy to meet you. How can I help you?
You see, Mrs. Malloy, we've been looking everywhere for some hats. You know what we were told? Go see Mrs. Malloy, they said. So we came here, the only place we could go.
Well, that's very complimentary.
And they were right. Everybody was right.
You wish to choose some hats for a friend?
Yes, exactly.
Yes, exactly.
We were thinking of 5 or 6.
5.
You see, Mrs. Malloy, money is of no matter. None at all.
Why, Mr. Hackle, I understand this.
I'm making a fun, Mrs. Malloy. Barnaby, look at this interesting street out here. Something happening all the time. Passers by, you know.
You're from out of town, Mr. Hackle?
Why, yes. Barnaby, keep your eye on that street. You won't see that in Yonkers every day.
Yes, I will.
Not all of it.
Now, this friend of yours, couldn't she meet with you sometime and choose to have herself?
No. It's a surprise for her.
Indeed. That may be a little difficult, Mr. Hackle. It's not entirely customary.
Your friend is acting very interested in the street, Mr. Hackle.
He has reason to be.
You said you're from out of town?
Yes, we're from Yonkers.
Yonkers?
Yonkers, yes. Should know Yonkers sometime, Mrs. Malloy. The Hudson River, drives, Palisades. They say it's the most beautiful city in the world. That's what they say.
Is that so?
If you ever had a Sunday free night, we would love to show you Yonkers sometime. It's very historic too, you know.
That's very kind of you. Perhaps. Now, about those hats.
Mrs. Malloy, do you, maybe Mr. Malloy would like to see Yonkers too?
Well, I'm a widow, Mr. Hackle.
You are? I'm very sorry to hear that. Mr. Malloy would enjoy Yonkers.
Very, very likely. Now, about these hats, is your friend Doggerlight?
Don't think about that now. Any hat you would like to just fine with her.
Really? How do you like this one?
Barnaby! Barnaby, look! Mrs. Malloy, that's the most beautiful hat I ever saw.
Your friend is acting very, strangely, Mr. Hackle?
Barnaby, quit acting strangely. When the street's quiet and empty, come back and talk to us. What was I saying? Oh, yes. You should really know Yonkers, Mrs. Malloy.
The fact is, I have friends up in Yonkers. Perhaps you know him. I guess it's so foolish to ask in cases like that, isn't it? It's a Mr. Van Gelder.
What was that you said?
Then you know him?
Horace Van Gelder.
Yes, that's right.
Know him? Why, no. I beg your pardon, Mrs. Malloy. What an attractive shop you have here. And where does the store lead?
That's my, worker, Mr. Hackle.
Oh, very interesting, very interesting. Every corner, every door. Barnaby, notice the interesting coat rack. Coats for ladies. Oh, and Barnaby, notice the interesting table here. Precious piece of furniture with a low-hanging cloth, I see.
Perhaps your friend might be interested in some new Italian stock. Mr. Van Gelder is a very substantial man and very well liked.
teenager, ma'am.
And they have large circle of friends?
Oh, yes, yes, 5 or 6.
5.
He comes and calls on me often, I suppose.
This summer we'll be wearing ribbons down our back. Yes, as a matter of fact, I'm expecting a call from him this afternoon.
I think that, Cornelius, I think...
Now, to show you some more hats.
Look out!
What?
Begging your pardon, Mrs. Malloy.
Gentlemen! Mr. Hackle, come right out of there this minute.
Please help us this once, Mrs. Malloy. I'll explain everything.
Mr. Hackle.
We're terribly innocent, Mrs. Malloy.
But really, gentlemen, I can't have this. What are you doing?
Cornelius! Cornelius! Puddin'?
Puddin'.
Irene, darling child, how are you? Oh, that would be good to us, how well you look. Oh, what a surprise. And Mr. Vandergelder in New York. Oh, what a pleasure.
Good afternoon, Miss Malloy.
Yes, Mr. Vandergelder's in New York. Yonkers lies up there decimated today. Irene, we thought we'd pay you a very short call. Now you tell us if it's inconvenient, won't you? Inconvenient? Golly, the idea. Well, it's sweet of you to come.
We waited outside for a moment.
Mr. Vandergelder thought that he saw 2 men coming in. Men? Men, Mr. Vandergelder? Why, what will you be saying next? Then we'll just sit down here for a moment. Oh, wait, before you sit down. Before you sit down, there's something I want to show you. I want to show Mr. Vandergelder my workroom. You know what? I've seen your workroom 100 times. I'm just going to sit here and try to show these hats. Darling, you come too. I have something for you. Oh. Mr. Vandergelder, I would like your advice. You don't know how helpless a woman's business is. I feel I need every advice from a fine business head like yours. And now I shut the door.
Maybe she wants us to go, Cornelius.
No, certainly I won't go. She just thinks we were thoughtless fellows. Just need to stretch us all.
Well, what are you going to do when he leaves? Just run away?
I don't know yet. I like Mrs. Malloy a lot. I don't want to think badly of me. I think I'll buy a hat. Give me all the money you have left. Shoot! My almost perfumes make my nose itch. I like it, man. It's a woman's world.
Yeah, I like it where I am, too. I'd like it better if I had a pillow.
Here. I'll take one of these coats and roll it up so it won't get mussed. Ladies who like to have their coats mussed.
That'll be fine. Now I can just lie here and listen to Mr. Vandergelder talk.
This summer we'll be wearing ribbons down our back.
I'm taking off my shoes, Cornelius.
Isn't the world full of wonderful things? There we sit cooped up in Yonkers, years and years, and all the while wonderful people like Mrs. Malloy are walking around New York, and we don't even know them at all. Oh, I don't know whether where you're sitting you can tell how her eye, forehead, and cheek meet here. Well, can you? And how fireworks just shoot out of her eyes all the time. Oh, I tell you right now, a fine woman is the greatest work of God. Oh, sure, you can talk all you like about the pyramids at Niagara Falls. They're not in it all. And oh, sure, they came into the store up in Yonkers all the time and bought this and that. And I said, yes, ma'am, and that'll be 75 cents, ma'am. And I watched them. But today I talked to her. Equal to equal. Equal to equal. The finest one that ever existed, in my opinion. It was so different from men. It was so different in everything that they say and do that you feel like laughing all the time. Golly, they're different from men. mysterious, too. You can never be sure what's really going on inside their heads. They kind of have a wall around them, of pride, and a sort of play acting. I bet you could know a woman 100 years and never be sure if she liked you or not. Today, I'm in danger. I'm in danger of losing my job, my future, and everything else that people think is important, but I don't care. Even if I have to dig ditches the rest of my life, I'll be a ditch digger who had a wonderful day. Barnaby! Barnaby!
What? You woke me up, Cornelius.
We can't go back to Yonkers yet. You know why?
Why not?
We've had a good meal. We've been in danger. We've almost been arrested. There's only one more thing we have to do before we can go back to Yonkers and be a success.
Cornelius, you're never gonna kiss Mrs. Malloy.
Maybe.
But she'll scream.
Barnaby, you may as well know right now that everybody else goes around kissing everybody else, left and right, all the time, except us.
Well, thanks for telling me, Cornelius. I often wondered.
Mr. Hackle, what are you doing here? I thought you were up in Yonkers.
Oh, Miss Levi, I almost always am. Please don't tell Mr. Van de Gelder.
What in the world?
We're terribly innocent, Mrs. Malloy.
Mrs. Who in the world is that?
Mrs. Levi?
Yes?
Oh, Barnaby Tucker. Let's pay the call.
Oh, old friends of Mrs. Malloy, is that it?
No, it's not that. We just met her just a few minutes ago. We like her a lot. And in fact, I think she's the most wonderful person in all the world. And I'm ready to tell that to anybody.
Does she think that you're the most wonderful person in all the world?
Oh, no, I don't even think she knows I'm alive.
Well, I think she must know that you're alive in that there photograph. If I were you, I'd get back in it real quick. Someone will be coming along very soon.
Can I help you, doll?
Oh, no, I'm just going to try some of these on, Irene.
Miss Malloy, I have some advice to give you about your business here.
Oh, advice from Mr. Van de Gelder. The whole city should hear this.
First of all, the point of a business is to make a profit.
Is that so? I've never heard it put so clearly before. Did you hear it?
You pay those girls of yours far too much. You pay them as much as men. Girls like that enjoy their work, Mrs. Malloy. Wages are paid to make people do work they don't want to do.
Mr. Van de Gelder thinks so ably. And that's exactly the way he runs his business up in Yonkers.
I'd like you to come up to Yonkers sometime.
That's very kind of you. Well, thank you. As a matter of fact, I know someone from Yonkers. Someone else.
Oh, who's that?
Someone quite well to do, I believe, though a little free of easy misbehavior. Do you know Mr. Cornelius Hackle?
Do I know him? I know him like my own boot. He's my head clerk.
Is that so?
He's been in my store for 10 years.
Well, I never.
Where would you have gone?
Mr. Van de Gelder, I bet you it was one of those chance meetings.
Yes, one of those chance meetings.
What? Chance meetings? Cornelius Hackle has no right to chance meetings. Where was it?
Really, Mr. Van de Gelder, it's very unlike you to question me in such a way. I think Mr. Hackle is better known than you think he is.
Nonsense.
He's in New York often, and he's very well liked.
You know, Mr. Van de Gelder, the truth may as well have come out now as any time. Irene Malloy is quite right. Your head clerk is often in New York, as an army of friends goes everywhere. Everybody knows Cornelius Hackle.
He never comes to New York. He works all day in my store, and at 9 o'clock at night, he goes and sleeps up in the brand room.
So you think, but it's not true.
Tully Gallagher, you're crazy.
Listen to me, Mr. Van de Gelder. You keep your nose so far into your account books, you don't know what goes on. Yes, by day, Cornelius Hackle is your faithful and trusted head clerk. But by night, he just leads a double life, that's all. He's here at the operas, at all the great restaurants, and all the fashionable homes. Well, he's at Harmonia Gardens Restaurant 3 nights a week. But The fact is, he's just the wittiest, gayest, naughtiest, most delightful young man in all of New York. He's just the Cornelius Hackle.
It ain't the same man. If I ever thought Cornelius Hackle came to New York, I'd discharge him.
Who took the horse out of Jenny Lynn's carriage the other day and pulled him through the streets?
Who?
Cornelius Hackle. And who dressed up as a waiter the other night at the Fifth Avenue Hotel and dropped an oyster right down your... I can't tell you what to do with it.
Oh, yes, Dolly, tell it. Come on.
No! But it was Cornelius Hackle.
It ain't the same man. Where'd he get the money?
But he's very rich.
Rich? I keep his money in my own safe. He has $146.35.
Mr. Vandergelder, you're killing me. Do come to your senses. He's one of the Hackles.
The Hackles?
They built the Raritan Canal.
And why should he work in my store?
I'll tell you.
I don't want to hear it. I've got a headache. Now I want to go home. You can't keep away from the facts. He sleeps in my brand room. I just made him my chief clerk.
If you had any sense, you'd make him your partner. Now, Irene, I can tell that you were taken with him as anybody is.
I only met him once very hastily.
Yes, but I can tell that you were taken with him. Now, don't you be thinking of marrying him.
Oh, Dolly! What are you saying?
Maybe it would be nice, but think it over. He breaks hearts like eager things.
Who?
Cornelius Hackle!
Miss Malloy. How often does he come to call on you?
I'm telling the truth. I've only met him once in my life. Dolly Levi's been exaggerating. Excuse me, Mrs. Malloy. I must get to that order from Mrs. Parkinson. Yes, we must get that off before closing. I wanted to send it out by the errand crew. I almost forgot the code. Oh, no! Oh, no! There's the man! Minnie, you imagined it. There's the man. You're tired, dear. There's a man! Go into the workroom and lie down. There's still a man! Minnie, you're a fool. Hold your tongue.
There's a man in there. We'll get him out. Whoever you are, come out of there.
Nonsense. Of course there's no man in there. Cups are awful dusty, Irene. You know, Mrs. Faye's nerves were simply playing tricks on her. Now, Mr. Vandergelder, what was it that you were saying before?
Well, about this Cornelius Hackle. It's impossible that he comes to New York.
How is it possible? You don't know him. He just leads this other life. He's just a different person. It creaks in the I can do no more. God bless you.
There is a man in there. There's a very good explanation. Thank you very much for the honor of your visit. Good afternoon, Dolly. Good afternoon.
You're hiding a man in there?
I have a very good explanation. But for the present, good afternoon.
Under there.
The whole room is crawling with men. I'll never get over it.
The world is going to pieces, I tell you. I can't believe my own eyes.
Come, Mr. Vandergelder, Ernestine is simple as waiting.
Miss Malloy, I shan't trouble you ever again, and vice versa.
Irene, when I think of all the interesting things you have in this room, make the most of it. Goodbye. Goodbye.
So is that one of your practical jokes, Mr. Hackle?
No, I just...
Come out of there, Barnaby Tucker, troublemaker! Minnie, hold your tongue. I know all about these gentlemen.
Mrs. Malloy, we know what happened here is like...
What? You think because you're rich, you can make up for all the harm that you do? Is that it?
No, not at all.
Minnie, this is the famous Cornelius Hackle, who goes around New York tying people into knots. And that is Barnaby Tucker, another troublemaker.
How do you do?
Minnie, choose yourself any hat and coat in this store. We are going out to dinner. If this Mr. Hackle is so rich and gay and charming, then he is going to be rich and gay and charming to us. He dines 3 nights a week at the Harmonium
And now,
Mrs. Malloy, are you sure it's safe?
Minnie, hold your tongue. We are in a position to put these men into jail if they so much as squeak.
Jail, Mrs. Malloy?
Jail, Mr. Hackle. Officer Cogarty does everything I tell him to do. Minnie, we have been respectable for years. Now we're in disgrace. We might as well make the most of it. Come into the workroom with me. I have some ways we can perk up our appearances. Gentlemen, we'll be back in a minute.
Mrs. Malloy, I hear there's an awfully good restaurant at the railway station.
Railway station? Railway station? Certainly not. No, sir. You are going to give us a good dinner in the heart of the fashionable world. Go on in, Minnie. Don't you boys forget, you made us lose our reputations. Now the fashionable world is the only place we can eat.
She's mad, Mr. Cornelius. I think we better go.
No, I won't go. See through with this to the end, even if it kills me. For a woman like that, make her consent to go back to Yonkers to be a success.
All I know is no woman, no matter how beautiful, is going to make success out of me.
We're going to take these ladies to dinner, so grit your teeth.
Gentlemen, the cabs are at the corner. So forward, march.
Miss Malloy, is it far to the restaurant? Couldn't we walk?
Minnie, take off your things. We're not going.
Mrs. Malloy!
Mr. Hackle, I don't go anywhere I'm not wanted. I'm not very happy to meet you.
Mrs. Malloy!
You think we're not fashionable enough for you? Is that it?
No!
Well, I won't be a burden to you. Good night, Mr. Tucker.
Mrs. Malloy, we want you to come with us more than anything.
No, you don't. Oh, look at you. Look at the pair of them, Minnie. Scowl, both of them.
Please, Mrs. Malloy.
Then smile. Go on, smile. Nope, that's not good enough. Okay, Minnie, we'll get our own supper.
Smile, Donna, be you loud. Can't smile, Elijah Cornelius.
Then do something. Show some interest. Do something lively. Sing.
Sing? I can't sing. Really, I can't.
We're wasting our time, Minnie. They don't want us.
Barnaby, what can you sing? Then, Miss Malloy, all we know are sad songs.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. If you want us to go out with you, you've got to sing something.
Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I've come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee. Oh, Susanna, don't you cry for me. I come from Alabama with the banjo on my knee.
We'll come. You boys go ahead. Minnie, you get the front door key. I'll turn the lights. Why, Mrs. Malloy, you're crying. Oh, Minnie, the world is full of wonderful things. Watch me, dear, and tell me if my petticoats show.
Okay. Act 2, Scene 1. There you go.
It's been great. Had such a good time today.
That's a good day.
That was rough on. I didn't want to carry.
Look at that
be right up.
Good evening, ladies. What will we having tonight?
Chicken!
Chicken. That sounds very delicious. Lemon, pepper, or barbecue?
Lemon, barbecue! Go all together!
Yes, madam.
Why, thank you. I almost had to wait.
Sorry about that.
Send away.
What can I give you this evening?
A glass of your best wine and your best chicken.
Lemon chicken. Okay.
Yes.
Give it right up.
Oh, I thank you.
So tell me, Mary, how's William? Well, William is not in my life anymore. Oh, because I shot him. Oh, no, I'm kidding. But we just not seen each other as much anymore because he's not the gentleman I thought he was. But tell me, how's Charles? Oh, lovely. He proposed. He did. Yes, he did. How exciting. Congratulations. Thank you.
I noticed that you're acting kind of funny today.
Really bad.
There's a pretty good reason for it. I just asked this really important question, and
Why don't you just have another drink?
here's your dinner, ma'am.
Excuse me. That is not what I ordered.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
I wanted steak. What is that atrocity you're trying to serve to me?
Chicken, ma'am.
Chicken. I asked for the finest in steak. I want a refund or I want the right meal. I don't care if you have to slaughter a cow back there. You hear me?
The table's a little round.
That's my purse.
Oh, this no! You must be mistaken. This is my purse. No! Sorry. Hell now. Coming in and we're gonna return it to the front desk. Have a nice day. Sit down.
I'm sorry, ma'am, but we're all out of steak.
What? Listen to me. If I do not get my money back within the next 5 seconds, you'll be hearing from my lawyer!
Yes, ma'am.
Ooh.
What a nice day to go out. Look at all the nice young couples here. Oh, one nice couple. 2 lonely old ladies. I'm not lonely. Oh, I'm so happy. Waiter! Oh, there he is. Yes, brother.
More wine.
Thank you. This table's not for sure. You're getting a cold.
Here you are, ladies.
Oh, how lovely. Thank you. Can we get some champagne?
Of course.
Thank you. Where's our champagne?
It'll be right up.
Okay, thank you.
You've ordered wine.
Okay, let's go out here whatever. We just want something. Alcohol. Woo! Thank you.
Your food will be here momentarily.
Good job.
This is very crazy.
Yes, they are.
Woo!
Yes, ladies, what can we do for you?
Well, really just wondering what you guys would do later. Maybe you guys don't have anything going on. Maybe you could come with us to the show. Yeah.
We get off very late. Well past your bedtime.
have time for
We
this.
like you, you're great. It's good. Oh, wait, I think something's wrong with your shirt. What?
Again!
I'm getting these drinks down. They'll liven up.
Waiter? Waiter? We need our check.
Coming right down.
You know, it's really easy.
Sure it is. Where's our food, waiter? That's it. I'm sick of this place. No, here comes your food. It's you later. Oh, hello. Very nice of you to bring out our food today. Let me take this. You can have that. Oh, thank you. Oh, thank
Enjoy.
you. This is lovely.
Call if you need anything else.
Here, read at the bottle. It'll be okay.
Everything all right?
I asked 15 minutes ago for a refund. I still have not got my money back.
Refund? Well, what did you buy, madam? I don't see anything on your thing.
Exactly. I first ordered steak. He dares to offer me chicken. Number one, I've been here over an hour. I'm still waiting on some service here.
Madam, we have just ordered some more steaks.
I'll be in contact with my lawyer. You hear me?
How was it tonight, madam?
Oh, it's fine. Thank you.
Enjoy.
I got something to say to you. I do. Will you marry me?
No.
Please?
Okay.
Hey. Good. All right, ladies. You have a good day.
Okay.
Now listen very carefully, young man. I don't want any mistakes. I need a table for three.
For free.
There'll be two ladies and myself.
That's a bad combination, Mr. Van Gelder. Go over it.
And I want a chicken.
A chicken, go over that too.
Hold your tongue. Write it down. Chicken.
Got your story, chicken Mr. Hayes, chicken on a bread.
A chicken. A chicken like everybody else has. And with that chicken, I'll have a bottle of wine.
Wine. What kind of wine would you like?
Wine, regular wine. I don't know.
He doesn't understand you, Mr. Van Gelder. You better speak louder.
W-I-N-E.
Wine.
Yes. And we'll have that table removed. We're going to eat here alone.
There's some people coming in here now, Mr. Van Gelder.
What? Thunder and tarnation, my funny seven guy. What's she doing here? Wait till I get my hands on her.
Mr. Van Gelder, you must keep your temper.
There's that rascal artist with her. Why, it's a plot, I tell ya. I'll throw them both in jail.
Mr. Van Gelder, they're both old enough to come to New York. You can't throw people in jail just for coming to New York.
Why, Miss Levi's with them. What's she doing with them, huh? It's a plot, I tell you. It's a conspiracy. What's she saying to that kid? Go see what she's saying.
She's telling the cabman to wait. And she's telling the young people to come in and have a nice dinner, Mr. Van Gelder.
Well, I'll put an end to this.
Mr. Van Gelder, if you lose your temper now, you'll just make matters worse. Come here and take my advice.
Don't push me. What's your advice?
I, Mr. Van Gelder, hide behind the screen and listen to what they're saying.
What? Stack, this is never going to work.
Yeah, it is. You hide behind the screen, you listen to what they're saying. Let's go.
But I
Ermengarde, you're hungry. That's what's troubling you.
All right, but after supper, you must promise to take me to Aunt Flora's. She's been waiting for me all day and must be half dead of fright.
All right, I'll take you to Aunt Flora's. But of course, you know once you're back there, you'll be right back in Uncle Horace's hands.
Can't stand it.
Just keep telling yourself how pretty she is. Pretty girls have very little opportunity to improve their situations.
Listen, Ermengarde, you don't want to go back to your uncle. Stop and think. That old man with one foot in the grave,
And the other three in the cash box,
smelling of oats.
and axle grease.
It's not true, Mr. Vandergelder. Well, it's only partly true.
Hold your tongue. I'll teach them a lesson.
Mr. Vandergelder, you must keep your temper and listen to what they're saying.
Heaven be praised, how glad I am I found you two dreadful children, just as you were about to break poor Mr. Vandergelder's heart.
He's got no heart to break.
Mr. Vandergelder is a much kinder man than you think he is.
Kinda. He's a wolf.
Remember that he leads a very lonely life. Now you two are going to be eating upstairs where there's some private rooms just as the shines from the girls like Irving. Come along.
Well, I'll show them.
Everybody should eavesdrop once in a while, Mr. Vandergelder. That's what I always say. There's nothing like eavesdropping to let you know that the world inside your head is different from the world outside your head.
I'm gonna write a letter. Go call that cabman in here. I need to talk to him.
Mr. Vandergelder, no one takes advice of the cabman. They've seen so much of life, they have no ideas left.
Do as I tell you.
Yes, sir. Advice of the cabman?
My dear Miss Daniel, everybody's dear in a letter, so enough to make you quit writing all together. My dear Miss Daniel, this is Ermengarde and that rascal Ambrose Kemper. They are trying to run away. Keep them there until I come.
Yeah, so what's he want?
I want to talk to you.
I'm engaged. I'm waiting for my parties.
I know you are. How would you like to earn $5?
Eh,
I said, would you like to earn $5?
well, I don't know. I never tried.
When those parties of yours come down from upstairs, drive them the distance rest. Never mind what they tell you, just drive them the distance rest. Ring the doorbell and give this letter to the lady of the house. See that they get in the door and keep it there.
Wait a minute. I can't make them go into a house if they don't want to.
Can you for $10?
Even for $10, I can't do it alone.
Well, this fella here is going to help you.
Now we're pushing people into houses.
There's the address. 4 Van Huysen, 8 Jackson Street.
If I get them in the house, I can't be sure to stay there.
For $15 you can.
What if he gets at 25?
Hold your tongue. Now, the lady of the house is going to help. All you have to do is sit in the front hall and make sure that the man doesn't run off with the girl. I'll be there in about 1 or 2 hours, and I'll pay you then.
But what if they call the police? I can't do anything.
It's perfectly honest business, I tell you. It's perfectly honest.
Every man's the best judge of his own honesty.
The young lady is my niece.
Yeah.
The young lady is my niece. She's trying to run off with a good-for-nothing, and we're going to prevent it.
Oh, I know them, sir. They'll win in the end. They just don't run up here.
What did I tell you? They find some cabman.
Stack, I'm going to be back here in half an hour. See that this table's set to free and have that table removed. Then join the captain on the box.
Yes, sir.
So, who's your friend?
Friend? That's not a friend. That's an employee I'm trying out for a few days.
Yeah, well, you won't like him.
I can see your business for yourself, as you talk about liking employers. No one's ever liked an employer since business began.
Ah,
No, sir. I bet you think your horse likes you.
my old Clementine, why, she'd give a right foot for me.
That's what all employers think. You imagine it. The streets of New York are filled with catboys winking at one another. Come on, let's go in the kitchen and get some whiskey. I can't push people into houses when I'm sober. You know, I've had about 50 employees in my life, but this is the most employee lawyer of them all. He talks to everyone as if he was paying them.
Yeah, I had an employer once. Washed me from 8 in the morning to 6 at night. Just sat there and watched me. Oh, even my mother didn't think I was that interesting.
Yeah, being employed is like being loved. You know someone's thinking about you the whole time.
See, here's the place I'm in. Isn't it fine? Getting to doctor things will be hours.
Are you sure you like it here, Mrs. Malloy? I think I'd be a draft.
Indeed, I do like it. We're going to have a nice dinner right here on this veranda. It's private and delicate. Now we're all going to forget our troubles and focus on our courtesies. Cornelius Foley.
Wait! I think I got a cold on my way here. Wait! No, it won't come.
I don't believe you. Why don't you call him? Mrs. Malloy, I never thought I'd be in such a place in my whole life. Is this what they call a cafe? Yes, Minnie, this is a cafe. Sit down. Cornelius, this is what I've been able to understand that every waiter in New York knew you.
They will.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening, Fritz. Good evening, my friend.
I am Rudolph.
Of course, Rudolph. You see, Rudolph, these ladies would like to have some food. You know what I mean? You know how busy you are, and
Cornelius, there's no need to be so familiar with the waiter.
oh yes, there is.
Minnie, what do you want? Oh, just anything, Irene. No, speak up, Minnie, what do you want? Really, I have no appetite at all, and I'd like some sardines on toast and a glass of milk, please.
Great rhinestones! What a sensible girl! Barnaby, shake Minnie's hand. She's the most sensible girl in all the world. Rudolph, bring us, gentlemen, 2 glasses of beer, a loaf of bread, and some cheese.
I've never heard such nonsense. Cornelius, we have come here for a good dinner and a good time. Rudolph, how do you think
Yes, ma'am, just in from New Jersey.
even the best is leaving New Jersey. Rudolph, write this down. Mock turtle soup,
Mock turtle soup,
pheasant,
pheasant,
mashed chestnuts,
mashed chestnuts,
green salad,
green salad,
and some nice red wine.
red wine.
All right, Barnaby, you watch me. Rudolph, write this down. Neapolitan ice cream,
Ice cream,
hothouse peaches,
hothouse peaches,
champagne,
Champagne!
and a German band. Have you got a German band?
No, Cornelius, I will not let you be extravagant. Champagne, but no band. Now, Rudolph, think about this. Minnie, don't say it with me. I haven't anything about your hair. I think it would look nice with 2 wee horns. Wee horns? Oh.
Cornelius, you know in the army they make you peel potatoes all the time?
That doesn't matter. By the time we get out of jail, we can move right into the old men's hall.
Oh, waiter, what's that? What's that you have?
It's some champagne, ma'am.
Oh, Cornelius, it's our champagne.
No, it's for his honor, the mayor of New York, and he's very impatient.
Shame on him. The mayor of New York has more important things to be impatient about. Oh, Cornelius,
But ma'am, you killed me.
have a glass first and die happy.
But he'll kill me.
I go to a public restaurant for the first time in 10 years, and all the waiters burst into tears. Take that and stop it.
But he'll kill.
Barnaby, bring it to
To all the ladies in the world, may I get to know more of them, and may I get to know them better?
Ladies.
That's very sweet and very fun.
Oh, Cornelius. Cornelius. I can go back to Yonkers now. Become a success. Good. Good.
What is wrong with me? I can't stand you. Not strong enough for a kiss. Oh, really, I'm enjoying myself. To think, this goes on in hundreds of places every night. While I sit at home darning my stockings. Please, dance with me.
I've been there. The hackles, we don't dance. We're Presbyterian.
Sitting here. Lovely music. I think you did beautifully. You girls dance in the workroom when you're not looking at me. And you might be angry. Something no one in the world understands anyone else. Cornelius, Jenny Lind, and all those other ladies. Do you see them often?
Irene, I put them right out of my head. I'm interested in them.
Rudolph, what are you doing?
Table has been reserved, special compartment.
Stop, right where you are. That party came inside. We're on this veranda.
This veranda is open to anybody who wants it. Ah, here comes the man who plays the order.
Take your table away from here. We got here first.
Man, my employer reserved this veranda at 4 o'clock this afternoon. You can go eat in the restaurant. My employer said it was very important that he have this veranda alone.
No, sir. We got here first, and we're going to stay here. Alone, too.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Shut up, you. You are an impertinent, idiotic killjoy.
That's an insult.
All the facts about you are insults. Cornelius, do something. I knock it over. The table.
Knock it over?
Knock it over.
Over, she says.
Just pick it up. I have a suggestion. There's a screen here that we'll put up between the tables.
No. I won't eat behind a screen. I won't. Maybe noise. We're not just animals in a menagerie. Cornelius, no screen. Oh, maybe there's a fight. I feel 10 years younger. No screen. No screen.
Now you'll learn something. There comes my employer now, getting out of all 3 of those caps.
Wait a second. I'm not getting down too.
Whoa.
Me? Is that?
Yeah, that's Wolf Trap.
Wolf Trap?
That's him.
Hey, everybody, I think the screen's a great idea. Rudolph, do you have any more screens? We can use 3 or 4.
Cornelius, stop changing your mind. Rudolph, we're ready for the food.
Stack! What's the meaning of this? I thought I told you I wanted the table alone. What's that?
Mr. Danny Gilda, I did what I could. You wouldn't believe what wild savages people of New York are. There's a woman over there. Civilization hasn't touched her.
Managed things very badly. You can't even handle a simple thing like that. Well, let me off with my coat. Whoa! Don't kill me! Don't kill me!
Speak up, I can't hear you.
Ice. It went out again, bottom. Can you see? No. Can't say a word.
Fine, bring your heads together and hold this firm.
So who's over there?
Some city sparks and the girls. Mr. Vandergilder, what goes on in big cities? Let's not think of it.
Has that couple come down from upstairs yet? I hope they haven't come down without you noticing them.
No, sir. The caveman and I, we've kept our eyes on everything.
All right. I'm gonna sit here and wait for my guests. You go out to the cab.
Yes, sir. What's that? It's a wallet. Hey, Mr. Vandergilder, did you lose something?
No, don't bother me. Do what I tell you.
That fellow over there must have let it fall during the misunderstanding about the stream. I won't look inside. $20 bills, dozens of them. I better go give it back to him. You're surprised. You're surprised to see me getting rid of this money so quickly, eh? Well, I'll explain it to you. There was a time in my life when my chief interest was to take money that didn't belong to me. There's a law to protect property. But sure, the law doesn't care whether the property owner deserves his property or not, and the law has to be corrected. There are several thousands of people engaged in correcting the law. For a while, I too was engaged in the redistribution of superfluities. Get this, a man, he works all his life and leaves $1 million to his widow. And all she does is she sits in hotels, she eats great meals, she plays cards all afternoon and evening with 10 diamonds on her fingers. I say, call in the robbers, call in the robbers. Or a man leaves all of his money to his son, who spends his time leaning against bars, boring the bartender. I say, call in the robbers. Yeah, stealing's a weakness. Some people say you shouldn't have any weaknesses at all. No vices. But if a man has no vices, he's in great danger of making vices out of his virtues. And there's a spectacle. We've all seen them. Men who were monsters of philanthropy, and women who were dragons of purity. We've all seen people who told the truth, though the heavens would fall, and the heavens fell. No, there's one vice in your bosom, and give it the attention it deserves. And let your virtues spring up modestly around it. And you'll have a miser who's no liar. And you'll have a drunkard who's the benefactor of the whole city. Well, after having a weakness of stealing for a while, I found another. I took to whiskey, and whiskey took to me. And then I found out a very important rule that I'm going to pass on to you. Never support two weaknesses at the same time. It's your combination sinner. You'll have your lecherous liars, and your miserly drunkards who dishonor the vices and bring them to bad repute. So now you see why I have to get rid of this money. I have to keep my mind free and clear to give the credit to whiskey where it is deserved. My last word to you, ladies and gentlemen, is this: one vice at a time. Can I speak to you for a minute?
Certainly. We all want to apologize about that screen misunderstanding. What's your name, sir?
Stagg. Malachi Stagg. If the ladies will excuse you, I'd like to speak to you for a minute. Have you lost... Have you lost something?
Sir, in this one day I've lost everything I own.
Here it is.
Mr. Stick, do you know what this is? It's a miracle.
Don't mention it.
Barnaby, come here. I want you to shake hands with Mr. Stack here. He found that wallet I lost. A wallet full of money.
It was nothing. It was nothing, really. Okay, that's good.
You're a wonderful man to know, Mr. Stack.
Thank you. I'm sorry. so glad I went to church all those years. By the way, Mr. Steck, where do you work?
I've just begun. I work for Mr. Vandy Gelder in Yonkers.
Really?
Yep.
It's a miracle. Mr. Steck, I know you don't need it, but could I give you something for the trouble?
It was nothing. Don't mention it.
Take that.
Don't mention it.
And that.
I better be going.
And that.
No, I better not. I might start to like them.
I feel so wonderful. I feel so good about everything. I feel like telling the truth.
I've forgotten, honey. Can't get drunk so quickly. All right, what is the truth?
If I tell you the truth, will you let me put my arm around your waist?
Minnie, hold your tongue. All right, you can put your arm around my waist, just to show it can be done in a gentle way.
You're a wonderful woman, Mrs. Malone.
All right, now that's enough. What is the truth?
You see, I'm not exactly as rich as I said I was.
Not rich?
And I almost never came to New York, and I'm not all those things that Miss Levi said I was. Bad? You might as well know that Mr. Vandergill is on the other side of that screen right now.
What? Well, it's not going to spoil any part of mine. So that's why we're doing this thing? Let's forget all about this man's guilty and have some more champagne. Good evening, Mr. Vandergelder.
Where's Miss Sybil?
Mr. Vandergelder, I'll never trust another woman again as long as I live.
Well, what is it?
She ran away this afternoon, Mr. Vandergelder, and got married.
She did?
Married, Mr. Vandergelder, to a young man of 50.
She did.
I'm as upset as you are. I can't eat a thing. What have you ordered?
I ordered what you told me to, a chicken.
I don't think I can fix a chicken. Well, hello, waiter. How do you do? What's your name?
August, ma'am.
August? This is Mr. Vandergelder of Yonkers. Yonkers' most influential citizen, in fact. I want you to see that you serve it the best you have, and serve it promptly.
Yes, ma'am.
And there will only be two of us. Mr. Vandergelder's been through some trying experiences this afternoon. What with men hidden all over Irene Boy's hat shop, like Indians in an ambush.
Miss Levi, you don't have to tell him everything about me.
Mr. Vandergelder, if you're thinking about getting married, you may as well learn to let women be women. You know, always do what excellent service.
Yes, ma'am.
You've managed things very badly. When I plan a thing, it takes place. Where are you going?
Oh, I just want to see who's on the other side of the screen.
Jesus.
Oh, good evening, Mrs. Levi.
Well, who was it?
Well, it's just some city sparks entertaining their growth, I guess.
Always wanted to know it. Always curious about everything. Always sticking your nose into other people's affairs. Anyone who lived with you would get as nervous as a cat.
What? What's that you're saying?
I said anybody who lived with you.
Horace Vandergelder, you get that thought right out of your head this very minute. Why, the idea that you could even suggest such a thing. Understand once and for all that I have no intentions of marrying you.
I didn't mean that.
Well, you've been hinting around at such a thing for some time, but from now on, just put such ideas right out of your head.
Stop saying that. That's not what I meant at all.
Well, I certainly hope not. Horace Vandergelder, if I had any intentions of marrying again, it would be to a far more pleasure-loving man than you. I'd marry Cornelius happily before I'd marry you. However, we won't discuss it any further. Here comes August with my food. I'll serve it, August.
Golly.
Look, some white meat and some triplets would be very good. Make it juicy. Thank you, August. However, since you did bring up the subject, there is one more thing I'm going to say.
I didn't bring up the matter at all.
We will close the matter in just a minute. Just sit down. Keep the matter away from me in just a second, but there is one more thing I ought to say. It's true I'm a woman who likes to know everything that's going on, a woman who likes to manage things. You're perfectly right about that. But I would not want to manage anything as disorderly, as out of control, as untidy as your household is.
My household was not out of
like it, even I'm just so-so. You'll be able to find a cook who can make 3 meals a day for $1. It can be done, you know. You like cold baked beans? You'll spend the last of your days listening at keyhole for fear that somebody's cheating you out of something.
Dolly, you're an exasperating woman.
You see, there's a difference between the two of us. I'd be nagging you all day to try to get some spirit into you. You could be a perfectly witty, charming, amiable man if you only wanted to.
I don't want to be charming.
But you are, see? Look, you can't hide it.
Listen at keyholes. Dolly, you have no right to say such things to me.
At your age, you ought to enjoy hearing the honest truth.
My age. My age. You're always talking about my age.
I don't know what your age is, but I do know that up at Yonkers with bad food and bad tempers, you'll be double in 6 months. Let's not discuss the matter any further. However, there is one more thing I am going to say.
Don't.
Sometimes, just sometimes, I think I'd be tempted to marry you out of sheer pity. And if the disorder in your household isn't getting better, I may have to.
I haven't asked you to marry me.
Well, please don't.
And my house is not in confusion.
What, with your niece upstairs in the restaurant right now?
I fix that better than you.
And your clerks skipping all over New York?
They're in Yonkers, where they always are.
Nonsense.
Look what you made me do. What do you mean, nonsense?
Amelia's hackle is right there on the other side of that screen.
It ain't the same man.
All right. Go on, Horace. Push it over. Knock it down. Go and see.
I don't believe it.
All right, eat your chicken. Of course, Horace, if the affairs in your house went from bad to worse and you became actually miserable, I might feel it was my duty to come down and be of some service to you. After all, I was your wife's oldest friend.
I don't know how you got any such notion. You'll understand once and for all, I have no intention of marrying anybody. Now it's got a head in it. I don't want to talk anymore.
I won't say another word either.
Irene, I think we better be going. Here, take this money and pay for the bill. Don't worry, it's not mine.
No, I'll tell you what we'll do. You boys will put on our coats and veils, and if Mr. Van Gelder comes stamping over here, he'll think you're girls.
Those things?
Yes, come on.
I've got a headache. I'm going home. I'm going to go straight to Miss Van Poison's, and then I'm going back to my hotel. So, here's the money to pay for the dinner. Here's the money. I've lost my wallet!
Impossible. I can't imagine you without your wallet.
Why, it's been stolen. Or maybe I left it in the cab. Oh, what am I going to do? I'm doing the hotel. They don't know me. I've never been here before. Stop eating the food. I can't pay for it.
Horace, sit down and calm yourself. I'll be able to find some way to pay for the food.
Dolly, I gave you $25 this morning.
Rather than send, I gave it all to my lawyer. Ambrose Kemper, he'll lend it to us.
Well, why wouldn't you take it?
But Cornelius Hackle, I bet you he could pay for it.
He's in Yonkers. Waiter!
Is that Mr. Van Gelder's wallet?
I didn't know it until just now. I thought it was just money running around loose waiting for anybody.
Cornelius, that's what politicians think. Mrs. Malloy doesn't bond and make a lovely girl. He just ought to stay that way. Cornelius, I can teach you the dance in a few minutes.
No.
If you go, oh, it's the easiest thing in the world, Marcy.
Waiter!
Horace, you danced with me at your wedding. I danced with you at mine, you remember?
No. Yes.
Don't confess to me that you're too old to dance.
I'm not too old. I just don't want to dance right now.
Listen to that music. Remember the dances in Yonkers on Saturday nights? Baby a fan? Horace.
Oh, excuse me.
You're discharged! Not a word! You're fired! Where's that idiot bunny lock you up for the rest of your life. And you, I'll throw you in jail.
You can't do anything to me, Mrs. Vandergelder.
There you go, Horace. There's your life. Without clerk, without niece, without bride.